Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Ask Me Anything coaching session. I'm Justin, one of the co-founders here at SiteSwan, and we got a lot of questions to answer for you today. I'm super excited about this. I see a lot of you already in here, which is nice. We're running on time today, thankfully. And as we're getting going, I want you to take a quick minute and let me know something good that's happened in your web design business since the last time you were on here. If this is your first time on here, tell me something good about your experience so far. One of the things that a lot of people come to these sessions for is to be able to hear and see and understand what their next step might look like. So by you sharing something positive that's happened, a win that you've had in the web design world, it will help someone else out who has not had that win yet, or just wants to hear about what other people are doing. So give me one win, something positive since the last time we were all together. If it is your first time, I would love to hear anything that you got. This is a great time of year to be selling websites. Seasons are changing. Folks like landscapers and seasonal contractors are out and about and wondering why the phone's not ringing as much without a website. It's kind of hard to do. So it's a really great time to be out there selling sites. Mike said, a current client wanted to pay me more since I'm now doing more for her, up to $400 a month. Very nice, Mike. Very nice. What are you doing for them that's more than before? Love to hear that. Christy said, we've built a new website for our client and have sold them some upgrades along the way, like a custom form, additional pages. Love to hear that. That's awesome. Let me hear some more, guys. There's 30 or so of you here so far. We have 62 people registered, I think. 64. So I want to hear from as many of you as possible. Please use the questions. I probably should have said that first. There's a questions tab. It's got a question mark inside of a circle. That's how you communicate with us. And my moderators and I are the only ones who could see it. So don't worry about everyone else, piling on whatever you have to say. Only we can see it. We've designed it that way so you can be as open and honest as possible, not worrying that other people might comment on what you're saying or whatnot. I don't know. So let's see. Jason says, signed up. Now everyone's posting like, oh, it's the questions tab. Found it. Signed up. Third site, a barbershop. Did a demo for a mobile golf cart repair company, which looks promising. Use the mobile mechanic template and customize it for golf cart repair. Hey, very nice, Jason. Love that. What else we got? Christine just sold a new client that is a test prep company. Nice. I'm guessing like SATs and stuff like that. No template, but was able to use another template. Love to hear that. You're doing some customization. Kevin got his first sale today. After building 7 sites, got 1 sale. That other people might have these customers ghost me after I build the site. Wait, what? That other people might. Maybe you can just restate what that meant, Kevin. Oh, he said a lot of these customers ghost me after I build the site. They don't even look at the site. So I have a tip for that, which I'll get into as soon as I finish reading these wins. Ruel says he has a question. Okay. Usha just signed up. Welcome, Usha. Glad to have you here so soon after signing up. My wins are registered a domain name. That's awesome. Going through the tutorials. Excellent. And working on the site. Good. Now, Usha, don't work too hard on that site. Okay, we want to get it launched as fast as possible. So don't spend too much time customizing it. Alex said, just started. I like the platform. I'd like to know in the future how we would have like personal reps we can speak to instead of just getting answers through email only. Alex, if you ever want to schedule a call, you can do that. You just, in the support ticket, you can ask for a phone call. We'll give you a link to book a call. Bryce says, I've been visiting places in person. Very nice, Bryce. And went to a new pizza place, stopped in, showed them what I had to offer. They said they already paid a company, but they want to sign up their other locations in the coming months and set an appointment with a pool company. Very nice, Anne. Andrew just started a few days ago. Signed up 1 site so far. Love to hear that, Andrew. What kind of site was it? What theme did you use? I'd love to see that. Justin's asking a question, which we'll get to. And more questions from Jack. Cool. So that's great. So let me just quickly touch on this one concern that let's check out Jason's site. I'm not going to show it to everybody, but I do want to see it for myself. The golf cart. Oh, nice, dude. Really nice job with the. Can I show this to everybody? Have you customized this for golf carts? If you give me a yes, I'll show it. If not, don't worry about it. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Let's check out Jason's site. He said okay. So this is a site that has been customized the theme to work for mobile golf cart repair. Great hero image, a call to action to schedule the service, another call to action right here, clickable, tappable phone number, customize the welcome post, nice post dividers here you're using. Got photos to talk about all the most common types of things people are going to want with their golf cart repairs. Very nice. That's cool. Free 7-point inspection. This is a nice little highlight. These things drive in the snow. Wow. Focusing on coming to you. That's a good selling point. Nice job at this. Nice photos too. Very, very good. Congratulations on that sale. All right. So the one thing I want to go back to is this concern that. Who had this concern? Alex? Nope. Oh, Kevin. All right. So let me just restate what Kevin said. Kevin said, I am talking to people. I am telling them that I'm going to do a site for them. I build out the site. And then they ghost me. They never show up, never call me back. I don't get a chance to ever show the site off. So we have a little bit of a pro tip for you. I should probably put this into an actual video that is readily accessible, but here it goes. I have found that if you ask your client for your lead, if you ask your lead for something between the time that they say yes to the appointment and between the appointment time, ask them for something. Ask them for a picture of their business card. Ask them for their hours of operation. Confirm with them which brands they sell or the services they provide. Something that will be featured on the website. If you get a response from them that has the answer in it, you are going to greatly improve the likelihood that they will show up. If they don't answer that question, and then you ping them again, hey, just a reminder about this question I asked you, and you still don't get an answer, I assure you they're not going to show up. So stop wasting your time on the design. You can follow up a third time to be like, hey, are we still on for blah, blah, blah day? It's always nice to get a confirmation from someone. And by getting them to answer a question from you is a great way to get that confirmation. Kevin says, can we make the demo screen larger and my face smaller? I do not intend for this to be the same size. Is anyone else seeing? Sorry, Kevin. Anyone else seeing me the same size as the screen? Because I'm pretty sure that the screen is much, much larger than me. Am I right about that? Can someone confirm that for me? I have no intent of you seeing me the same size as the screen. That's totally unnecessary. Unless it's just the way you're using. I'm larger, screen is larger. All right, let me try this. I'm larger, and now I'm same size, and now I am gonna be smaller, hopefully. All right, Lauren's confirming my face is tiny, demo screen's large. I don't know. I don't know what device. Oh, I fixed it. Livestorm, always a little tricky. All right, I'm being told it's good now. Excellent. All right. So some of you have asked questions ahead of time. I want to jump on those because those of you who have spent the time submitting questions ahead of time, I want to make sure I get to them. Tina was the first person to submit a question beforehand. Tina, can you just say hello if you're on in the questions tab? I don't see you listed, so I don't know if you're on or not. If you are, I'll count to 5. Questions tab, just say, hey, this is Tina, and I'll do the questions. If not, I'll skip on to Jeff. And if Jeff is here, Jeff M., and you ask questions ahead of time, please just say hello in the questions tab. Hello, I'm Jeff. And we will get to your questions. I always like to answer the questions of people who are present. This way you can make sure you're showing up for the right reasons. Okay, that's 0 for 2. Jeff had a lot of questions too. I saw Mike, so let's get into Mike's question. Mike said, hey, when we hide a section on a website, does that hidden section still take up space or storage on the site? I remember you said that SiteSwan sites can handle a lot of content, but do hidden sections count? So the short answer is yes, they count, but let's talk about what that actually means. So from your dashboard, if you go into any of your client sites, you are going to see that you are able to hide each and every post that's on the page if you'd like to. This will prevent people who are coming to the site from seeing these posts. But the content is still here. So it still counts as data, still counts as storage. But again, Mike, don't worry. Our limits are so high, we don't even actively publish them. So you have nothing to worry about in terms of exceeding any limits with some hidden posts here and there. No worries there. Is Christine K on today's call? Christine K. Christine K. Yes, she is. Okay, Christine. Hello, Christine. Let's get to your question. I have a customer that I will be incorporating e-commerce on their website. Okay. She has questions about how that functions on PayPal's side regarding reporting, showing inventory numbers, notifications when someone purchases. Do you have any documentation I can provide for her? Has she ever sold online before? Because these sound like advanced questions from someone who has. And if she has, why is she looking for a simple e-commerce solution to start with? The short answer is this: I don't know. And I'm not even sure PayPal knows, because we don't send those things out. We rely on PayPal 99% of the way for the transaction. So if PayPal offers that functionality, then yes. But I can't tell you for certain because things change over there. From my memory, when the last time I was in there setting something up like this, I think that there was definitely notifications when someone purchases. I know that. Reporting, I'm 99% sure they offer reporting, but I don't know about inventory numbers. I don't know what could be promised around that. I do know that the site doesn't allow inventory control, so there might be a little bit of a conflict of interest there. Even if you did have inventory numbers in PayPal, it wouldn't properly be reflected on the site because we don't have that functionality. Hope that answers your question. Sorry, it wasn't maybe perhaps exactly what you wanted to hear. But the best thing to do, in my opinion, because look, if you're going to get involved selling e-commerce sites in the future, and this is one of the things I always tell people, e-commerce sites always come with a can of worms. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You are going to be faced with unique and different questions every single time you do an e-commerce site. You're like, oh gosh, I wish I knew the answer to this. You don't. You gotta do some research and figure it out. So what I would do is I would maybe set up a PayPal account for yourself. And we've kind of done it to just mess around with. If you go to siteswanstore.com, don't buy this stuff because we can't actually send it to you. But we've done this so that we can get a feel for and show you guys exactly how it would look to add stuff to a site, add it to the cart, check out. So maybe do that for yourself with a PayPal account. Add a couple of products, put the buy now buttons on, put the add to cart buttons on, make it happen. Do a transaction for $1. See what it looks like. See what notifications come through. How do you turn them on or off? Get familiar with that for yourself. This way you can talk with 100% certainty about what's capable and what's not capable when you are pitching your client on the service. Sammy. Sammy's always on these. Yes, he is. There he is. Hey, Sammy, you joined late. You joined just in time. So I was about to answer your questions. Here we go. Sammy has 3 questions for us today. Is it possible to limit access for a client to specific pages only? No, not yet. Let's just talk about what this looks like, okay? So if I were to add a user for a site, you have this functionality built in. You can determine which permissions they have, which are broken down pretty much aligned with the options you have on top when you are logged into the site, pretty much. So, layout and design, okay? What you're going to notice here is that if this is turned off, you're not going to see any of these design options or the layout option. So if you turn this off, you're not going to see that. Managing pages, you will just not see this drop down for pages, okay? If you turn off view stats, then the stats option will go away. I've seen a lot of people, by the way, just grant access to the site for stats purposes. Then we have managing content. And what that will allow you to do is actually to edit the content that is on the site. So without editing content capabilities, I won't have this pop up. I can't add sections. I can't do any of that stuff. All right. And then, I skipped over settings. So settings would be, of course, this drop down. That's the extent to which you can personalize your client login permissions currently. But Sammy's like, hey, I only want to give access to the gallery and blog pages, but they could only add slideshows or gallery sections to the gallery page and only image or text sections to the blog page. Don't have that for you. But, you know, as easy as the SiteSwan platform is, and I think it's a general note for everybody, as easy as the SiteSwan platform is to use, I always, always, always recommend that you insist upon doing the editing for the client, and only when it becomes way too much for you is when you would consider granting them access to the site. As easy as it is, they can still mess something up. It's just the truth. They can, and they probably will mess something up. But they'll be like, "Hey, I messed something up. Can you?" It's like, well, I could have just done it for you. So if things are becoming too much, but are like giving you 5 blog posts a week or something like that, I don't know what your situation is, but I would just say, look, we're doing a little bit more work on the editing. I can grant you access to the site. It's going to open up some possibilities for you to mess stuff up, which you might have to call me for. I might have to charge you to fix them. Or instead of paying me 99 bucks a month, I could, for 179 a month, I can continue to make all these changes you're asking me to make just as fast as you expect me to make them, perhaps even add a little bit more, and you'll have nothing to worry about. So consider those two options. Just paint the picture nice and clear for them. If I grant you access, you might do something you regret doing. You're going to have to call me to fix it. I'm going to have to charge you something to fix it. Or just let me do it. Pay me a little more. I will do it for you. Sammy's second question is, do customers automatically get some sort of receipt or notification when Stripe charges their cards? That's something you can determine within your Stripe account. So go in there, play around with their settings. They have a bunch of different settings for that. Figure out what works best for you. Sammy had a follow-up question. Is it possible that when a client is charged by Stripe, an email is automatically sent with a branded PDF receipt attached, customized email content? The email content changes every month. I don't think so. I don't think so. But again, that would be something totally within Stripe. I don't know if they allow you to do any sort of, you know what? Maybe something like that, because I know there's a notes field in the invoices, but that might have to change on a per client basis. I don't know. I don't feel too good about that being a real thing. But check it out. Check it out. All right. Andrew R. Is Andrew R here today? Andrew R. We got Andrew R. I'm not seeing him. Wendy, is Wendy here? Wendy submitted a question. All right. I can come back to these. In the meantime, let's get to your questions since you're here. Let us answer them. All right, Carl. Nope. We're going to Ruel. Right? Yeah, Ruel. Ruel says, can you show me how to include a YouTube video into the website development? Sure thing. Oh, it's always dangerous going to YouTube Live. You never know what you're going to see when you go to youtube.com. So I'm going to do it in a different window just to make sure. And we're going to find a video. So video here. So there's 2 ways to add a video to SiteSwan that you would want to. do. First thing is to add a new post. So let's just say you want this to be like a video, let's just say. All right, like it's like a welcome video for the business or whatever. Add a new section. You're going to find the option that says video, which is right here. You're going to click add to site. Now, by default, we're going to load a dummy video in. Click on edit, and you're going to swap out this video with your own URL. So I just pull in this URL. I just grabbed, click OK. And now we have a new video on the site. I can modify my text for the title, modify my description, and I can even change or play around with how this video appears. It could be left justified, right justified. It could be underneath the text. It could be to the left of the text with the title over it, right of the text. You get the idea. You can play around with this, play around with the video size. The text alignment refers to this text over here. It could be centered like it is now, top aligned, bottom aligned, whatever you want to do, animate it, all fun stuff like that, okay? That's the way if you have a video that's designed to be played and heard and seen on the site. But if you wanted to, you can have a video play in the background. So check this out. I'm going to click edit on this hero image post. I'm going to click over to the style tab, and I'm going to remove the image, and instead I'm going to add a video. And when I do that, I'm going to actually load a video into the background of this hero image. So a video plays in the background automatically as soon as it comes to the site. And that will be a great way to add a little bit of drama to the homepage. Now, you would not use a video like this for the background image. They're just for demo purposes. You would usually use a video that's congruent to the type of business that you're building a site for. All right. Those are the two ways. Hopefully that's helpful. On to the next question. All right. Carl says, I'm talking to a pizza shop. They have multiple items, sizes, and products, and it connects the item description and sizes to their payment portal. What does? How do we connect the items to the payment portal? All right. So you're describing online food ordering, and I would not recommend doing online food ordering that is on an e-commerce solution. There are certain services that are specifically designed for online food ordering. They're your DoorDashes, your Grubhubs, your Seamlesses, your Uber Eats, and all those folks. Any pizza shop that wants to offer their pizzas and other items for sale online for pickup or delivery needs to be using one of those types of services. In fact, if you look at any of our blank canvas themes, which are specifically for restaurants, I should spell restaurant correctly and then we'll be perfect. All right. So if you look at any of our themes for restaurants, you're going to find that somewhere on the homepage, usually, we have links for Uber Eats, DoorDash, Seamless, and you can swap these out with different logos if you'd like, so that shortly after someone comes to the site, they'll be able to scroll down, click their preferred method of ordering online, and complete the transaction. Now, if you're not familiar with these, I'll educate you just a little bit, Carl. The idea here is that these folks are primarily, their sole purpose is to help facilitate the online ordering of food for consumers. So, very little work is involved to get this set up with these providers. The restaurant basically just sends them their menu and their pricing. They do the rest, hook everything up. They get them paid, manage the orders. They give a tablet to the business. It's really, really straightforward and easy. So that would be my number one suggestion on how to get that done. Wendy, I see you're here. Let's get to your question. I'm sorry if I missed you when looking at the attendee list. Wendy says, new question, guys. Wendy says, can I add MLS listings on a realtor's website? For those of you who don't know what MLS listings are, they are multiple listing service. Every town or city or county or whatever you want to call it has an MLS, multiple listing service. And that service is what's going to usually provide an asset to any and all realtors, which is listings, all the active listings across all the brokers and realtors in the area. And it is usually coming in the form of a widget that can be used on any website. So what you are going to do, now every MLS is different. They use slightly different technologies, but 8 times out of 10, maybe 9 times out of 10, they're going to offer you a snippet of code. That snippet of code will create listings on the website. The way you're going to add that is you're going to have a page on the site called Search Local Listings or View Local Listings or Local Listings. homes for sale, whatever. And on that page, you're going to use the add new section post button, excuse me, and you're going to find the option for HTML, which is right here. You're going to add it to the site and then edit it. And you're going to take whatever that code is that client, that MLS service gave you. You're going to select all this, delete this, and you're going to paste in the code they give you. Sometimes it'll be iframe code or something like that. Paste it in, click save, and now the MLS listings are going to appear embedded within the site. I know you didn't want a link that takes people off the site. I get it. So this is a great solution if the MLS offers this, which almost all the time they do. If you get the code, you put it in, you click save, and you don't understand what's going on, it's not looking right, it doesn't look whatever, reach out to them, or we could try to help. Show it to us, and we'll have a look and see if we can do anything to help you make it look its best. Sometimes it's like a justification issue or a width issue or something like that. That's easy enough for us to help you modify. We generally don't get involved modifying custom code, but just so you know, if you really needed to, let us know. All right, next question. We have from Jeff K. Jeff says, will .eps work without background? You cannot upload an EPS document to the platform. You'd have to first modify it to something else. I'm assuming it's a logo. If I had to guess, your client is giving you an EPS file for a logo. The good news is you can convert an EPS to another file type pretty easily online. The most common type of file you are going to convert an EPS to is going to be a PNG file. Let me just talk to you a little bit about this in case anyone cares about images. I'm going to get a little bit nerdy on you. So EPS is actually referring to what we call a vector type of image. A vector image is something that can be expanded as large or as small as you need it to be. They're generally never going to be photographs. EPSs are going to be line art or graphical images. So they can be expanded to fit on a billboard if you want it to be. Now, they often also, the reason I said, is it a logo, is because oftentimes when a logo is provided, professionally designed logo is provided to a client, one of the formats it's given in is an EPS format because they know it could be used anywhere, on a shirt, on a hat, again, on a billboard, whatever. So, and also logos tend to have a transparent background because you want to be able to put that on any background you want. You shouldn't have to have a colored background behind the logo because you're not going to have the same color hat or shirt or sign or whatever that your logo is going to be on top of. So, long-winded answer. It's most common. You're going to convert an EPS to a PNG file. PNG files support transparency. So it's perfect for logos. JPEG file is the most common file type, one of the most common file types, does not support transparency. So you would have to have a colored background of some kind, even if it was white. But PNGs support full transparency in the background. GIFs, GIF, also do support that as well. So if you wanted to convert EPS to GIF, but I think EPS to PNG would work great. So any of these free services would do just fine for that. Jeff also asked, what's the best DPI, which is actually stands for dots per inch, of sharp images? So I always recommend that you upload the largest version of an image possible to our platform. We will make sure to size it down appropriately so that it works in the place that it exists on the site. Actual DPI, if you want to get technical, if you're building these yourself, 300 DPI you could definitely use, but the industry standard for web is 150. I don't think you'll ever regret uploading a 300 DPI image. Jeff also says, can I resize images to better fit in boxes available? So I'm not sure what you mean by that because we have a pretty cool functionality here where if you have an image post, you can determine what size it gets cropped to. In other words, if I'm on this site, okay, and there's an image, well, that's a video now, image here. I can modify this image to change on the Styles tab. I can change it so that I don't have to have it landscape. I can have it square. If I don't want it square, I can change it to portrait, make it nice and tall. If I don't want that, I can change it over to circle even. So depending on the image that you have, it may look better or worse in one of these cropping styles. If you are still having more concerns about an image fitting where you want it to, or getting the right element of the image featured in the photo, ask us. But I will make one final recommendation, which I don't know, sometimes I like recommending it, sometimes I don't. You can click edit on any of these images, and when you do, it opens up an image editor. And when you open up the image editor, you can use the crop tool. So you can really dictate exactly what portion of this image that you want to select. And then if you just wanted these raspberries, for example, as a photo by itself, not sure why you would, but let's just say you can do this, click apply, and then click save. It's going to add this photo into your library that you can then use somewhere else on the site. If you're dealing with a small image in the beginning, you are going to run into problems with this being blurry or pixelated, but just so you know, that can be done. Okay. Jeff also says, on a new site, the first thing I did was set colors and button styles. They didn't change every place but the header. Font styles did work. So whenever you modify the button style, it will change throughout the entire site. Let me just demo that for you real quick. From the design option, I click on buttons, and from here, I can change the radius, which is the corners of the button, to be super, super like, rounded. So this is like a pill shape, we call this, as opposed to being completely squared off. You can also set a border on the buttons, which will automatically make it like 30% darker for the border, and also determine whether or not a shadow should exist. So these three options are how you're going to customize them. When it comes to actually changing the button colors, that is a one-off basis thing. So you would actually go into each button and you would modify the color of the button. What's cool about this is that I always like using brand colors for my buttons. So let's just say that I want my buttons to be this color green. All right, so watch what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to click Save, click OK. And then from the Design Colors section, I'm going to add a new brand color. That is the code that I just copied and pasted, and click OK. So now what's nice about this is I can go to each and every button on my site, and I can simply choose a different brand color as opposed to having to select it from this or copy and paste the code. I just go here, click that, click Save, and now my button color has changed. Yes, I have to do it to each button, but here's the good news. If in the future you want to change your button colors all in one shot, all I'd have to do is go back to my design brand, colors, and change my brand color to something else. And when I do this, it'll change all instances of that color throughout the entire site. So it's one-time work, but when you do that, you're going to find that you will have really quick access to make this modification in the future. Hopefully that helps. Bryce says, can we use parallax scrolling with section dividers in the future? I don't know, Bryce. Right now you have to choose one or the other. So what Bryce is talking about is that for each post, for each section, you have the option to turn on parallax if you have a background image here. And parallax is going to, let me just see if I can show you. Parallax is going to do this thing where like the background stays still while you scroll. So it's kind of like this cool effect. But if you want to have a section dividers are automatically going to not allow you to use the parallax. So I have to turn parallax off, and then with that, I can get a section divider of whatever I'd like. See this cool dramatic kind of thing we have here? This, you can use any of these. And then you'll notice the background image no longer stays still as I scroll. It kind of just locks in with my scroll, okay? So at the moment, I cannot give you an affirmative answer, but just for everyone else who is unsure about how that works, that's how it works. Bryce also says, are we doing GEO, generative engine optimization, in tangent with SEO? Not necessarily. One good thing that is really cool is that when it comes to GEO optimization, you are going to find that the things that work for SEO generally, at least up to this point, look like they are working perfectly well for GEO as well. There isn't a huge difference in terms of its effect on SEO. But it's something to consider. I don't think it's something that a lot of you are going to run into a situation where, these AI searches are going to significantly impact your client's ability to come up at or top in your search results. But because one good thing about GEO, or this is basically it's AI associated, is that they're leveraging what works for SEO to deliver the results for GEO. So I don't think you have to go too crazy there. Bryce says, do we have time to go over monthly report for clients? I don't know what that means. Maybe you can just reiterate that slightly differently in another question. And Bryce also says, are we able to use a template structure with different industry copy? Yeah, just as you saw with those golf cart repairs. Absolutely. All right, Anne says, I've had my site up for over 2 months and it's not showing up in web design local search. Keywords for SEO there. Looking to do a press release. Is this suggested? So my question would be why? Basically, I want to know why. Here's why I'm asking why. For those of you who are not yet doing this, the far and away best way to win clients in your first 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months, 12 months, in perpetuity, is going to be by using the 14-day launch plan, which is right here. If you guys have not opened this up and used it yet, do that today, because this is your answer to winning clients. There are 3 phases of winning clients. It's going to be social outreach, then warm outreach, then social outreach. We put a lot of time and effort into putting this plan together because we took what works and we assembled it into a very easy to follow guide that's going to optimize your likelihood for success. So don't try to, I saw another question come in, which I'll just read because I'm not sure if he has since signed on, but Jeff says, where is it? All right. Jeff says, I don't see my site ranking on Google when I search for it in my area, even though I have the SEO package where I'm submitting my site to the search engines. Is that the reason I'm not getting good leads? No and no and no. So here's the deal. In this case, sorry, what's his name? Jeff. Jeff has only had his site live for a month. So it's really difficult. Now, I want you to think about this for a second, okay? You're a web designer and you've been doing this for 5 years, okay? Pretend. A new web designer comes into your area 5 years later. Would it make sense for them to be above you in search results a month after launching? No, that wouldn't make sense because you've established yourself. You've put time and effort into proving to the search engines that you deserve to be at the top or near the top of search results. You've got longevity, you've got trust, you've got clients, you've got a following, you've got recognition. And that's super important. So to expect your site to come up, any site to come up above established players in as little as 30 to 60 days is a really difficult task. It's a really hard ask. So if you're looking to get clients through your website, don't for a while. Focus instead on using what you know about the launch plan. Go through it, all the different phases to win clients that way. That's your best possible option. You might get some referrals through your site first. Those will be people who are been recommended to you by a client of yours. They'll recommend you. They'll submit their information through the site. That's how things will start. And then eventually, you may start to get leads through the site, but don't rely on that as a means to get clients. There's just too much noise out there. And for you to expect that from in the very beginning, it generally does not happen. Lauren says, is there a way to remove the nav bar at the bottom of the homepage and make the top navigation sticky? Lauren, we are so close. We're inching toward having a sticky header. So I don't have that yet for you, but it's on the horizon. And then if you're talking about the bottom nav, I also have something for you coming really, really soon for this as well. So not at the moment, but maybe possibly very soon. All right, Chris is saying competing with sellers offering lower prices on Facebook can be challenging. How can we compete with them? Best advice. So, what makes you think you have to, Chris? Have you actually lost the deal to someone who has offered a lower price than you? We often will see other solutions out there, and we put pressure on ourselves to modify our business so that we look better in comparison to them. Meanwhile, what if they're just modifying their pricing to look better compared to you? Don't go to compete with people who you don't need to compete with. It's possible that someone might be, selling a site for $10 a month. I don't know. Um, they're probably attracting a different type of client than you want. So don't think that just because the price is less, that means that people are going to choose them over you. What people do choose is they choose quality, they choose value. And what I mean by that is that you have to make sure that you highlight as one of the main things that you're going to be offering people a business owner to business owner relationship. That is something that's pretty hard to come by and something that's very deeply craved by business owners. They want to work with other business owners. Like when I have my grass cut or a service provider at the house, I exclusively look for a business that is run and operated by the business owner because I know only a business owner cares at the level they need to, or the level I desire, about the service performed, the reputation that precedes them, and I kind of like that. Just as people prefer and like working with the website design firm owner. They know that you're going to take care of them a lot better than just some worker will. All right, next question is, by the way, guys, I see a lot of you posting questions and some questions that make me feel like you want to maybe that you want to get like someone else's feedback on something. So I'm going to post a poll here real quick that came from a couple of things that we heard earlier, and I'm just going to post it for you. I'm basically curious to understand what kind of value that you guys would find in joining like a private Facebook group or similar online community, specifically for SiteSwan resellers, where you could share tips, ask questions, connect with others. Some of you are like, hell no, I don't got time for this. I'd rather just get answers from you. Others are like, yeah, all I want is to talk to other people. So I'd like you please just to go click one of these four options. Either yes, I'd actively participate. I'll help answer questions. I'll help others. I'd find value as well. Or maybe I'm not sure. Or no, I don't think I'll use it. Or I'm not sure, but I'd probably still just, get answers from you guys anyway. So go ahead and submit your questions, your answers to that poll now, because I would like to know where you guys all fit with that vote. All right. Once you submit your answer, you're going to see the results, I believe. So you'll get an understanding of how your vote is being applied to what everyone else thinks. Okay. Thank you for that. I'm going to get back to the questions while you're doing that. All right, Bryce gave me some clarity on the third question Bryce had, which was, how do we prove that our platform is working for the customer? For example, do we ask the client for sales reports that align with our website efforts? I want to prove that we are helping clients every month effectively and easily. So Bryce, what's really interesting about, I think you're doing the honorable thing. I think that's really great that you want to be able to prove and know that your service is ultimately providing results that your client will never consider canceling you over. The truth is, though, that business owners tend to, first of all, not have access to even sales numbers that they can even show you. They have this kind of set it and forget it mentality with their website, where like as long as the site's performing in search, as long as people don't hate it, as long as they're not getting bad phone calls about it, as long as they like you and you're responsive and you're helpful and you're supportive, they're not going to cancel with you. That's pretty much the the model that we've seen time and time and time and time and time and time again. So while I commend you for wanting to go above and beyond, I will assure you, you generally don't really need to. But you can certainly send them statistics every single month if you'd like to. We're actually working on a way to automate this process for you so you can actually automatically send stats out to your client. More on that hopefully in the next coming months. In the meantime, you can go to the stats screen and you can basically take a screenshot of this. Guys, if you don't know how to take a screenshot, Google it or look. We have a support article on this of how to take a screenshot. On a Mac, it's Command-Shift-4. If you want to write that down on a Mac, Command-Shift-4. Your mouse turns into a crosshairs. And you can start up here, click like this, go down here. And once you let go, it saves this as an image on your computer. Pretty cool. All right. So that's what you could do. Shoot this off to them in an email. The other thing, Bryce, which I often recommend doing, is scheduling time with your client every month or even every 90 days to talk about how the business is evolving and making sure the site is evolving with it. 90 days is a good time frame because that's when the seasons are generally changing, which usually means different things for the business. If you don't ask the client how things are changing, you'll never know. So it's important to have these conversations, and when you do, that alone is going to show that you care and show that you want to retain them as a client, and often helps do exactly that. And maybe during those conversations, they'll be willing and able to give you some information about how sales are going, how their business is going, so that you can know for a fact that your website's helping them thrive. Sammy says, I got a potential client who runs 3 driving schools in 3 different cities. Each school is its own business entity with different logos. I think you just answered your own question. The services offered are similar. How should I handle this? Well, definitely 3 sites. I know there's just one driving school theme available, but that doesn't mean that the sites need to be drastically different, especially if you're selling them to the same client. So if a site works in one market, so let me just get this straight. You have sites that should be able to equally perform in different markets for the same service. You're selling it to the same client. I don't see a reason why you can't make slight modifications to the theme and roll out essentially the exact same site to all 3 businesses, just with a different logo and a different color scheme, maybe a different font. I think that's actually might be exactly what they want, and you can even save them some money if you want to do a package deal of sorts, where you don't have to go through the lengths of redoing the entire site, making tweaks to the whole thing to make it different. So that way they can get an even more affordable solution live for each of the 3 sites. That's a great opportunity, Sammy, and I really love to see stuff like that. All right. I've dried up on questions from you guys, so I have nothing else. I just want to look at these statistics for the polls. I actually have other questions that were submitted before. I'm going to go over a couple of them before we wrap up. You guys have found, the majority of you said, yes, I'd actively participate, answer questions other people have, and find value in connecting with other resellers. Cool. That is good to know. I got one more question for you now. Okay. My question is regarding your current situation specifically, where you label yourself in terms of the amount of where is it? Oh, do I not have this? I thought I just created this, but apparently not. All right, I had another question, but whatever. No big deal. All right, how do I close this out? Like that. Okay, cool. The other questions that came up, I got this big one that I need to go over because there is a hole in the process, okay? I want you guys to tell me what's wrong with this. Let's have a little quiz. All right. Let's see if you guys could spot the hole. Jeff said, listen up, I'm telling you the story, okay? Jeff said this. I talked to a lead yesterday. His website is currently down. He expressed frustrations with previous website, but said he's currently working with another web developer. I took this opportunity to talk about the benefits of working with me. I was able to distinguish myself from the previous company he'd worked with. I asked about pricing for the new site. He wasn't willing to talk about that. I asked if I could follow up in a week to see how the new website project is going. He said yes, but how can I do it? What should I do next? What step did Jeff miss in this? He's talking about what to do next. He's got to go back in time. And he still could do something at this point. But he's got to go back in time because he missed a key step. Do you guys know what it is? Wendy's got it. Usha's got it. Mike's got it. Sammy's got it. Kevin's got it. Craig's got it too. I like Ryan's though too. All right, so you guys got it right. You gotta offer the demo site. That's what Jeff missed. Jeff missed offering the demo. If someone is willing to have you follow up with them, if they are currently supposedly talking to somebody else, that opens the door wide open to say, hey, how about before you take any next steps with them, I will do a custom website homepage that I will put together for you. We could take some time. I'll show it off to you, go over with you, so you can understand what I'm offering you as opposed to what you're kind of sounds like blindly paying this other company for. That is your key to sealing that deal. Now, Ryan also said the main thing with Jeff, don't ask if you can follow up. Always ask what day is next. Yes, exactly. So I've heard this thing. It's called Bam Bam. Book a meeting from a meeting. So if you are talking to a client and you are talking about a follow-up, book that follow-up while you're currently talking to them. Don't just say you'll follow up without a set day and time that they can actually agree to. All right. Andrew says, I recall hearing you mention there are SiteSwan resellers, over 500, even 1,000 websites that are mostly doing it on their own. Is sustaining this amount of websites doable with just outsourced contractors, or is a full-time employee needed at a certain level? Andrew, a full-time employee is only needed when you decide a full-time employee is needed. I don't think a full-time employee may ever be needed to accommodate that many clients, because here is the stats that we've been told time and time again. You can expect to hear from between 2 and 5% of your clients every month. 2 and 5, without you initiating contact, okay? 2 to 5% of your clients every month. So if you have 100 clients, you're going to hear from between 2 and 5 of them per month. That sounds like 2 to 5 phone calls or emails. That could be done in a day, right? It could be done in a couple of hours. So multiply that out. If we're talking between 2 and 5, multiply 100 by 5, so 5. So now you're dealing between 10 and 25 clients reaching out to each month with a client base of 500. Still sounds pretty doable. Andrew, I love the fact you're looking so far ahead, but I encourage you to take it one step at a time. Bring on the help as you need it, not as you predict you're going to need it, and make sure that they have clear tasks that are well defined before bringing them on, so that when they're on board, you'll know whether or not they're helping you. If you need help getting more sites sold, if you need help fulfilling the sites that have been sold, I mean like the design, getting them launched, things like that. If you need help, just maybe you want to bring someone on a hourly basis just to answer the phones, answer the emails, and satisfy those people's questions. It all depends where your deficiencies are, what's slowing you down, what's stopping you from expanding, or even what you don't like to do, and then hire that way. What else do we got? What else do we got? Alrighty. All right, let's do this poll. Mark is on here, and he's like, I got a better idea for you. Forget the Facebook group. Let's see if you're alone in this, Mark. All right. Another poll just got put out there. Mark's like, hey, why don't you guys just do an in-person thing instead of a Facebook group? Who's but Mark? Who would prefer that over a Facebook group? Lock in your answers. I'd love to see that. Now, we'd probably do it in New York if we were to do anything. That's going to change your answer. I don't know. I don't know what we'd do. Mark's okay with that. Mark's a New Yorker too. Yeah, that's fine. I'll make the drive. Andrew's in Westchester, so that's fine too. Mike is saying, if I want to bring on contractors to let them use the prospecting tool, can I give them access to just that alone? Almost pretty much. So from your account screen in the settings, if you look at the ability you grant your teammates to do, you can set them up as staff. In it, so like you could let them use the local prospecting tool and deselect all these other things. But I have to tell you, even if only the local prospecting tool is selected, you have to look at this. They will still be able to edit all sites in your account. They'll still be able to take sites offline, put them online, and still manage site owner access. So just keep that in mind. But pretty much. All right. Let's see. Anything last minute I can quickly answer before we wrap up? By the way, we do next one of these in 2 weeks. You want to mark your calendar, same time, same place. I believe it's in 2 weeks. Let me double check that. Oh, next week, by the way, we're doing a session at the same time on Friday about the 14-day launch plan. I talked about that in the beginning, okay? For anyone who does not feel really, really comfortable with the 14-day launch plan, who has not started it or has questions about it, show up to that because we're going to go over the entire thing from start to finish and help you understand how you can use that to sell your first, 5th, 100th site in a very effective way. And then the week after that on May 9th, we'll be doing the same thing as today, an Ask Me Anything style. And guys, if you have questions, submit them before, please, because that will allow us to prepare, perhaps, if we need to, some additional information so that we can even better answer your question. We'll be prepared ahead of time for it. Sammy, we're not in Zapier yet, but I'd be curious what you had in mind using Zapier, because we've been asked this before. I never got a clear understanding of how someone would utilize it. Mike's from Long Island too? No way. Hey, Mike. All right. Bryce says, I live in Oregon, but would love to come to New York. Dude, that'd be awesome. All right. Excellent. Submitting questions early, by the way, Bryce, and for everyone else. You got invitations to today's meeting. That's how you registered and showed up. All you got to do is click the button in the email and you can submit your question right then and there. We document them all. We study and prepare answers for them ahead of time so that as long as you show up, we'll make sure we answer it. We'll put you at the top of the list. And even if it's a very specific question about a particular site you're working on, whatever it is, be more than happy to get to that and dig in. Ends in South Carolina. New York isn't an option yet. Okay. I know we're all the way East Coast. It's kind of, a little further north for you too. What would be an option for you, and where would you be willing to travel to? Cool. All right, guys, before we wrap up, I'd like to just tell me one key takeaway from today's call, please. One key takeaway. If it's something you heard someone else ask, one of the poll questions, an answer you heard, something you saw, a thought you had because you saw something, whatever it is, give me one key takeaway. I'm going to read them off and make sure that Sammy wants the conference in Hawaii. I love it. Give me one key takeaway from today's chat that you think you'll be able to apply, use, implement, think about after our chat today. Anything you got? Kevin's like, I love it. Somebody's got 500 sites. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There is no stopping you. There is no stopping you. Once you hit your stride, the referrals pile in. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Alex, best industry to start in? Alex, go to the 14-day launch plan. The answer's in there. 14-day launch plan. Study that. You'll have the answer. Usha says, got a lot of questions answered and some more. Wendy says her biggest takeaway is that I've been uploading photos that are smaller than they should be. It's 72 DPI. Wendy, look, if the images don't look like trash, then you're fine. But you know, these iPhones now, they got these super high resolution images, screens. So it is good to be able to have as high resolution as possible. TJ says cropping a picture to get rid of unwanted stuff. Swapped out that word for you. Craig says an explanation of photos and transparency, PNG, etc. Oh, I'm glad that was helpful to you. Kevin likes that you have a Facebook group. Bryce says follow the process that was given to us by you. It's proven and it works. Technical talk like EPS being vector. Screenshot advice is very useful as well. Craig wants to add that, added a new customer today. Nice, up to 9 and 991 to go. Love it. Love it. Keep that goal written on your wall. All right. With that, I'm going to let you guys all go. We've been here for exactly an hour. You guys have been wonderful today. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate you all being here on a Friday afternoon. We have the rest of the day, guys. Don't forget that. You have the rest of the day to go out there and sell some sites. Let's do it. We have time yet. Weekends are a great time. Let's go. Perfect time of year to be selling sites. Go out there, make it happen, use the themes, close some deals. Thank you all. Catch you later. And if you missed the beginning and want to stick around and rewatch that, you can do that. The replay will start momentarily. See you all later.